Students have been preparing for the 53rd annual Sing Song Show coming up this weekend. I'm Lauren Franco.
And I'm Max Preston. We'll share exclusive interviews with the directors and members of last year's winning acts. Then stick around to see our predictions for each division. It's the first ever Sing Song preview show right now.
For the past week, I followed software nursing major Meredith Eford. Meredith worked on the set for the Sigma Theta Chi act, and I had the opportunity to shadow her throughout her experience.
My favorite part about it is just the community in it, and just like it's fun to like sing and dance and stuff like that, but like honestly the moments in between when you just like get to talk to the people next to you, or just like joke around how y'all messed up on the choreography, or like dang I really hit that note, and you know, it's just so fun, and it's like 3 hours of straight community, like no one's thinking about anything else. We started, first day, you get your music, you start learning it, the ball starts rolling. Then once all of our music's learned, we start choreography, and we're almost done with, which is so fun because like you know your music, but then you like learn the choreography and you're just like, oh, like I'm trying to balance both, but it's awesome. It's so fun. And there is kind of that pressure just between social clubs. You're like, oh, we have to win, you know, like you have to beat them or whatever. It's honestly just been so relaxed and so fun. But I know like when it comes showtime, everyone gets those butterflies of, you know, performing on stage in front of everyone, and just the adrenaline from it all just kind of kicks in and just like fires you up. But so far, it's just been so fun and relaxed and easygoing. Emily and Liz have done a fantastic job of basically preparing everything beforehand. So when we all show up, I mean, everything's there. So there's no need for us to really stress, which has been so good. But there have been some times where you like just think about ahead. You're like, oh no, is this gonna be like perfected in time, or are we gonna execute well? I'm not gonna lie, I was a little skeptical of Mary Poppins being our theme. But just because it's a classic for sure, but it's like, how do you incorporate Mary Poppins into Sing Song? And I have been completely blown away. The lyrics, the choreography, the music, the set, everything has exceeded my expectations. And it really just like kind of takes you on a journey back to like when you were, you know, 8 and watching Mary Poppins. It's so creative and so cute. It really does like take you back and be like, wow, I remember that movie and like those scenes or those details. But it's been so fun to just kind of relive that. And I think being able to like create that for the audience is gonna be a really sweet thing, just because we like tell the story of Mary Poppins and we bring back like memorable things like Cherry Lane and her bag and the umbrella, and it's just so fun. I'm excited. It's way better than I thought it would be. So our kind of set coordinator, she asked girls like way before like who would want to volunteer, and I just kind of put my name down because I helped last year with our freshman set, because I think it's a really cool way to like be hands-on, and like because set is such a big part of the actual production. So I signed up, and there's like a team of like 6 of us, and we just meet on Saturdays or whatever day we can. Obviously they've been working on set ideas and forming these like drawings and getting like structures out, and then we have a team that we've been working on set for the past 2 weeks, and we just go whenever we can. But I think it all goes down back to like your leaders and your directors, and I think our team has done a fantastic job with being ahead of schedule, with lyrics, with choreography, with set. Everything is just kind of like laid out for us to like have success on performance night, and so that just I think kind of lights the fire in all of us to like live up to that, like what's been presented to us, you know. And so I'm excited. It's Mary Poppins is gonna be good. It's gonna be so good.
Last year, 3 different acts worked hard to come out on top of their opposing acts in each division. In the class division, freshman ushers caught our attention with their shiny vest and clever story of multiple blockbuster movies released over the years. They edged out the freshman Pac-Man act for first place in what was a close race. I was able to talk to Abby Isler about her reaction to winning last year and her transition to Club Sing Song this year.
Honestly, it was just like a huge mix of emotions, and like I remember going down the line and being like, if they call your name, rip the vest off and throw it in the air. And so that was like the best feeling ever, like hearing all the names get called up to that point and just like all this excitement rushing through your body. It was amazing. I couldn't stop smiling. It's been interesting. It's definitely way different. Still the same thing, like you make super great relationships with people, and like especially with like your sisterhood, I guess, is like super awesome, because coming in as a sophomore, you don't really know anybody, and like this is the first real time where we get to spend like huge amount of hours together, and like I don't know, it's just so fun. It's fun being in a group of people who are either really similar to you or really different, but like experiencing all of that.
The men of Gamma Sigma Phi took the honor of winning the men's division with their Super Mario act. The title is self-explanatory, but they told the story of just exactly what you would see in the popular Nintendo video game. I talked to Jared Clemmer about winning their second year in a row and how he feels about a three-peat this year.
That was a really, really big year, just because we were trying to do the two-peat. I just remember my feelings of just like, you know, that just wait right before they say the name of who wins, and just the anxiety of it, kind of just, you're just excited, and all the feelings of sing-song. But, you know, like it was one of those things that had a big build-up, kind of like it does every year. It's a huge deal. But for us, it worked out well. And so it was just a really good feeling. All the hard work paid off. I think we're on, like I said earlier, we're on a really good pace, I would say right now. We're just to a point where we're working out some of the kinks as of right now. But we've gotten almost the whole act down, which is really good. We're definitely, you know, I think in a good place going into show week. And so I'm excited about that. I think good things. So we'll see kind of what happens.
Finally, the women of Kojo Kai were crowned champions of the women's division with their Rubber Ducks act. I talked to Hannah Roberts about their victory and Kojo Kai's progress so far this year.
So we put in a lot of work. I mean, the costumes took 6 hours for us to make. We put hundreds of hours into the set. But I think just practicing with my sisters and bonding with them has really made the experience special. We are sure to leave time in practice to have a little bit of fun, although we do work really hard, but it's a good balance, I think. We are leaps and bounds from the first day. It's always a little rough, and then you finally get vocals, and then you add in choreo, and it all falls apart again. But this last week is when it really counts, when we have the hours of cleaning and practicing, and everyone singing it in their cars and doing the choreo in their bathrooms and just really nailing it down. But significantly better, and hopefully we haven't peaked yet.
The men of SUBT 16 have a reputation for comically entertaining the audience each year. While they are sometimes disqualified for their hilarious antics, they put on a performance everyone remembers. We had the chance to catch up with some members, old and new.
I wanted to direct SUBT just because of how unique Sing Song is for SUBT.
It's kind of like a punishment in some ways. And so, I mean, you kind of maybe pick someone that we think would be good at it, but also you pick someone because you know they would do it and no one else really wants to do it.
You don't really join SUBT because you're a performer. And being brutally honest with you, we don't have a whole lot of guys that are just musically talented.
Whenever you start doing Sing Song, is basically the day before they tell you it's due. And it's like the second week in December, and you're like, I'm not thinking about Sing Song until February.
When it came to Sing Song, it wasn't a priority for SUBT. If anything, the priority was making sure it wasn't a priority.
It's just, it's not a huge priority to us, so.
Yeah, the practices are definitely different because we do it for about 15 to 30 minutes every Wednesday night.
Your choreography doesn't need to be perfectly coordinated. You don't even worry about things like pitch or diction.
We just added choreography yesterday, so look forward to that. It's not going to be much, but.
You have a role, and if you're too good, that's a problem.
Most important, here's what everyone wants to know. Do you have any intel about SUBT's Sing Song act this weekend?
Well, I got a little intel last week that kind of disappointed me.
Which is?
Well, I heard they were practicing.
Right, which is a no-no.
Which is a no-no.
You know, we kind of prided ourselves on how little we practiced and how serious we didn't take it.
They've definitely like cracked down harder on us on lyrics, and certain things that we used to be able to get away with, it's kind of changed.
But obviously those change every night because some guys forget them, or you see a lot of guys pulling out their phones and reading from their phones, which is totally fine. We rather people understand what we're saying than the way we look.
We are looking forward to being on stage, and we have a really good time whenever we're on stage. And I think that mostly comes because we're not really worried about being in sync. We're not really worried about being on pitch.
So we do try to throw in some subliminal messages in there and try to do our best to get away with some things.
You know, it's like the less they practice and the less they care, the more the crowd just loves it.
We've only won once, and that was in 1984.
The reason we won is because the donors promised they'd buy us a scoreboard if we actually tried, not thinking we were actually gonna win.
For me, in my memory, that the '84 year of winning, it's almost like this mythological fairy tale. Like I don't believe it actually happened.
We ended up winning, so we have the scoreboard, and that's one of the big reasons we yell scoreboard during our act.
The last time that we won was in 1984. 1984.
Nothing's really else been presented to us like that, so maybe if we got a new scoreboard, we would try.
What would it mean for you guys to win?
That would be incredible. If we ever won, I'm not sure what would happen. We definitely wouldn't be back on stage if we won. We'd probably leave Moody Coliseum and not come back. So it would be awesome.
My first 2 years, we didn't get to do it because we were kicked off campus. So we were actually security for Sing Song. So our senior year, we finally got to be in the show, and we ended up getting 3rd place in some category. I think we got like 3rd place crowd favorite or something. And I'll never forget, you know, we went crazy. I think that when we got announced as 3rd place winners, we immediately just left. We just walked out in the middle of the awards ceremony, and we elephant walked around the Moody kind of concourse.
It would be pretty interesting. I can't say, but it might be a victory lap around the gym or something, going through the crowd, giving people high fives, but it would probably be extravagant.
So our goal is to hopefully someday win again, which we probably won't, but just the fun aspect of trying to win again and putting in the minimal amount of effort possible.
1, 2, 3, SUBT 16A!
We're in Moody Coliseum with ACU TV. I'm Max Preston alongside Lauren Franco. We just saw the first dress rehearsal for Sing Song this Wednesday evening, and we have our predictions ready. We're going to start with the men. Lauren, why don't you go ahead and tell us what we predicted in the men's division?
So for 3rd place, we ranked the men of Frater Sodalis. In 2nd place, we ranked the men of Gamma Sigma Phi, and then in 1st place, the men of Galaxy.
Okay, so just give us a little more analysis on why we made those predictions.
So Galaxy had a great set. They had an amazing, the puff of smoke was amazing from the chimney. Their choreography was on point. Their vocals were loud, amazing. They had great dynamics. And then, you know, Gammas were also great. It was a really tight race, but ultimately Galaxy's ability to change their vocals and their vocal range would just put them on top. And then Frotz was a very close 3rd place. Their set was great. Their costumes were a little bit interesting, but ultimately we loved their act and we loved their entertainment. They were very funny. We loved that Gammas and Galaxy both kind of threw shots at each other, and Frotz stayed out of that a little bit, but we really liked that they came together as a club. They improved a lot from last year, and we really think they have the ability to rank.
Okay, so now we move on to the women. So starting in 3rd place, we went with the women of TKG. In 2nd, we went with Sigma Theta Chi. And then 1st, we went with the women of Kojo Kai. So, to start out in third with Tri Kappa Gamma, they're race car drivers. And I think that's a interesting idea. When watching their act, I noticed, their choreography is good. I think they were off a little bit at times. They can do a little better with their movement and just being together. Their vocals sound really good, honestly. If they can get their choreography together, they tell a good story. If they can just be more excited about telling it, I think maybe they could make a run. Then in second place, we have the Siggies. The Siggies are very talented. Their vocals are through the roof. They sound very good. They sound like a choir. I mean, they just sound
they do.
Great. They're not as entertaining to me. They don't tell a story that really captures my attention, but they are together as a group, sing very well, choreography is great, and their set looks pretty solid.
Right, yeah.
And then finally in first place, we have Kojo Kai. I just think they have a really complete act. Their vocals just are very cool, have a lot of good ranges in that group. They tell a good story. They're going through the jungle. Their choreography, I think, also kind of lacks a little bit in some areas, but they're still together. So I think they tell a really entertaining, funny story, and I like Kojo Kai first.
Yeah, I would agree with those rankings. I think for class acts, we would definitely have to say that in third place, the freshman cards, second place, the sophomore skeletons, and then in first place, we picked the senior Adam and Eve, and third place, the freshman cards. They sound really put together. Sometimes their costumes get in the way a little bit of their movements, but I think their vocals were on point, especially for first-year students. I think their act was big and large. They didn't quite reach second. Their set wasn't quite there to reach second, but I think they do have potential vocally to keep pushing up. Second place sophomores, we picked them because it was very interesting. Their costumes were interesting. They're extremely entertaining. It's very tight race between seniors and sophomores for most entertaining act. But I think what sets the seniors and the sophomores apart is just that the seniors are just funny. They're relatable. Their biblical story being told through their songs was really funny. And so we thought that was enough to set them apart and put them on top.
Yeah. Absolutely. So we also have our honorable mentions. So starting out, we have SUBT. Usually they're a group, the act that just kind of they try, but they don't try to win. They just try to be funny. And entertaining. Just a great group that really everybody remembers.
Absolutely. I think they're going to win entertainment. I think they're going to take it.
I like that. I mean, if they can win entertainment, that would make it interesting for the men's division. But talking about their act, they joke around a lot. I think they'll make everybody laugh. They take some shots at some other men's clubs, so people will have to pay attention to that when you see their act. Then we have Gata. Gata usually puts on a great performance. They are always sing-song ready. I think their vocals just need to be better. I think they've got a cool set, a cool story, and they just need to sing and be louder and come together as a club. So finally, we have the freshman dwarves. I think they're pretty funny. It's a good idea. It could entertain people.
Yeah.
I just think they can get better vocally. For them, it's just they need to sing louder and just be more confident. And they could honestly maybe take third or second if they wanted to.
I agree. I agree with that.
Should be a wild ride this semester, and I'm ready to see what happens. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. This has been the Sing Song Predictions in Moody Coliseum for Lauren Franco, ACU TV. I'm Max Preston. Thank you for watching.